Today, our topic is Pteridophytes in Plant Kingdom, Diversity of Living World, Unit 1, Chapter 2 in Botany. Pteridophytes. They are seedless vascular cryptogams and they are also known as ferns. So, they are called as seedless vascular cryptogams. So, in bryophytes, you have seen there is no vascular tissue system. But here in pteridophytes, the vascular tissue system was developed. And this plant doesn't have seeds. So, they are called as seedless vascular cryptogams. Pteridophytes are the vascular cryptogams and were abundant in Devonian period of Paleozoic era, that is 400 million years ago. So, they are called vascular cryptogams. So, they have vascular tissue and cryptogams means non-flowering plants. And when they have seen more, now the angiospermic we are seeing. But when they are more in the world, that is when there is no angiosperms. So that period is called Devonian period. The pteridophytes was occupied in the world. The Devonian period of Paleozoic era was more than 400 million years ago. So this is the pteridophyte habitat. General characteristics features of pteridophytes. The plant body is sporophyte. In bryophytes, we say it as the plant body is gametophyte. But here the dominant phase, that is the plant body is diploid, that is 2N. So 2N denotes diploid and the plant body is sporophyte. It is differentiated into root, stem and leaves. In bryophytes, only the mosses will shows the differentiation of root, stem-like and leaf-like. But in this, all shows root, stem and leaf differentiation. And the roots are adventitious roots, okay? And leaves are of two types, microphyllous leaf and megaphyllous leaf. Microphyllous means small leaves, okay? Phyllis means leaf, small, micro means small. Mega means large, phyllis means so large leaves. And their stem shows monopodial branching and dichotomous branching. So monopodial means, see, this is a single branch, that is think this as a stem. And from that only one will arise. Like this means it is monopodial. It goes like this means monopodial. But dichotomous means think this is a branch. From the branch you have two. So main stem, it divides two at the edge. And same way here also two. Like that two. So dichotomous branching. Dichotomous always denotes two. Monopodial means single. Okay. So the stele is Protostele. But in some forms Siphonostele is also present, and Siphonostele example is Marsilia. So Siphonostele, they may ask in your NEET means Siphonostele is the example for Marsilia. So tracheids, here the vascular tissues are present and the chief water conducting element is tracheids. But in Selaginella, vessels are found. So it is advancement of the vascular tissue, the vessels, and it is seen in Selaginella. In 1 mark they may ask. In NEET also they may ask, the vessels are found in Selaginella. So these are some of the examples. Lycopodium is also known as club moss, lyco. So if you like anything, you put a like, no? Like that, lycopodium. So lycopodium, it looks a club, like a club in a cluster. So club moss. And equisetum, it is called horsetail. Have you seen the horsetail? So that it looks like that. So the name came as horsetail and it is called as equisetum. Even the horse name is also Echinops equus. So that we will see in evolution. So that is called, because of that is the horsetail like structure, the name came as equisetum. And azolla, it is a water fern. So water fern, it lives along with the, it lives in the rice fields. Okay, azolla fern. So azolla fern. Okay. So these are some of the examples of pteridophytes. And sporangia, the spore. The sporangia is the bag where the spore is present. And this sporangia are seen in special leaves called sporophyllous. or sporophyll. So the sporangia bearing leaf is called sporophyll. The spores are beared in a bag-like structure. That structure is called sporangia, and the sporangia bearing leaves are called sporophylls or sporophyll. So the sporophylls are organized in the form of a cone. So they are organized in the form of a cone. This cone can be called as strobilus, that you can see in Selaginella and Equisetum. So in Equisetum and Selaginella, you can see the cone or strobilus like structure where the sporangia is present. And in most of the cases it is homosporous. Presence of single type of spore is called homosporous. Example, Lycopodium. Heterosporous means two types of spores, that is microspores and megaspores. Microspore is the male spore and megaspore is the egg, that is ovum. So presence of two different types of spores, that type is called heterosporous, that is seen in Selaginella. Heterospory is the origin of seed habitat. So it shows the advancement of the next stage, gymnosperm, to arise gymnosperm plants. So heterospory is the advancement to produce seed habitat. So development of sporangia may be eusporangiate. That is, eusporangiate means it developed from a group of initials. That is, the sporangia developed from a group of initial. It is called eusporangiate. And leptosporangiate means it is arises. That is, the sporangia arises from single initial. It is called leptosporangiate. So lepto means the sporangia developed from single initials. Eusporangiate means the sporangia developed from group of initials. So keep it in mind if they ask in 1 mark as well as in your 2 mark what is eusporangiate means. The sporangia arise from group of initial is called eusporangiate, and leptosporangiate means the sporangia arise from single initial. So the spore mother cell undergo meiosis and produces haploid spores. So this spore germinates and forms a, that is, heart-shaped, chordate means heart-shaped structure of green thallus-like structure. It is called the gametophyte, which is called prothallus. So the spores divides, meiosis, and produce the haploid spores. This spores germinate and forms the gametophyte, and it looks like a thallus, heart-shaped thallus. Heart-shaped, it looks like this. So like this, okay. Chordate means heart-shaped thallus. That is called prothallus, and that is the gametophytic stage arises. So the gametophytic stage arises, and the vegetative reproduction is also takes place here. That is fragmentation, resting buds, root, tubers, and adventitious buds are in vegetative reproduction. So sexual reproduction is oogamous type, that is antheridium and archegonium are there. They are produced in this prothallus. Here it may be archegonium, and in here it may be antheridium. So usually antheridium possesses that is multiflagellate. Here multiflagellate anthrozoids, and it is club shaped also. The antheridium shape is club shaped, and archegonium is that is flask shaped. It has the venter. In the venter you can see the venter canal cell and the egg cell, and the egg cell, and there is also a neck canal cells also. Here also water is essential for fertilization. After fertilization, the diploid zygote is formed. It divides to produce embryo. So the pteridophytes show apogamy and apospory type of development is seen in this pteridophytes. Now we move on to classification. Reimer in 1954 had proposed this classification. He proposed that is pteridophytes can be divided into 5 subdivisions: Xylophytopsida, Xyloptopsida, Lycopsida, Sphenopsida, Pteropsida. So these are the 5 subdivisions, that is Xylophytopsida, Xyloptopsida, Lycopsida, Sphenopsida, Pteropsida. From this, 19 orders and 48 families are subdivided again. Now we move on to the economic importance. So economic importance of pteridophytes. So pteridophytes, that is Rue mohera, adiantiformis, Rue mohera, adiantiformis, leather leaf fern. So it is used in cut flower arrangement. Cut flower arrangement, that is used in bouquets, in decoration items. So they are using this. And Marsilia, it is used as a food in food used in the forest people, that is Todas. Azolla is used as a biofertilizers in the rice fields. Dryopteris filix mass. So Dryopteris filix mass, it is used in the treatment of tapeworm. When the tapeworm was in our intestine, it causes some of the problem. To cure that, this Diopteris flix mass is used. Teres vitita, Teres vitita. The removal of heavy metals from the soils. The bioremediation, it is acting as an biological to with the help of biological process. It is a biological process to cure the pollution, that is to get rid of the pollution, that is Teres vitatita. Pteridium. So the leaves yield green dye. In pteridium, the green dye was yielded from the leaves. Equisetum, the stems for scoring. Xylotum, Lycopodium, Selaginella and Angiopteris and Marcia. So they are ornamental. So Ruhu moria adiantiformis is used in cut flower arrangement. And Marsilia is as food. Azolla is as biofertilizers. So Dryopteris filix mass is used in the tapeworm treatment. Teres vitita, bioremediation. Pteridium, that is green dye. Equisetum species scoring. Xylotum, Lycopodium, Selaginella, Angiopteris, Marcia, ornamental. So types of steel. So this is the first one, that is in this Pteridophytes is the first one. In plant kingdom, the Pteridophytes possesses vascular tissue. And how this vascular tissues are arranged. So based on that, it is divided into two types, Protostele and Siphonostele. Protostele. Phloem surrounds the xylem. So you can see here, this is a protostele. The middle one is the xylem and this one is the phloem. So xylem was surrounded by phloem. So there are some types of protostele. Haplostele. Xylem surrounded by phloem. It is seen in Selaginella. So xylem surrounded by, here xylem surrounded by phloem. But in haplostele, xylem, that is xylem was in the outer side and phloem in the middle. So in this position, so you can see if it is a haplostele means the phloem will be there and the xylem surrounds the phloem. Example, Selaginella. Actinostele. Star-shaped xylem core is surrounded by phloem. Example, Lycopodium. So you can see the star-shaped xylem and it was surrounded by phloem. Example, Lycopodium. Plectostele. So the xylem are arranged in the form of plates. So you can see the streaks, like this. So like this it is arranged. So arranged. Seen in, that is in between the alternates with the phloem. So xylem, this one is phloem, xylem, again that is it is alternating, xylem, phloem like that. So that means plectostele. Plecto means itself, you can remember, plate like. So the xylem plate alternate with the phloem plate. Example, Lycopodium clavatum. Example, Lycopodium clavatum. Mixed protostele. So xylem groups uniformly scattered in the phloem. So the xylem forms, this was a phloem, okay, and the xylem was scattered uniformly in the phloem. So this is the phloem. So this portion is the phloem and think this as the xylem and it is scattered in the phloem. That condition is called mixed protostele. Example, Lycopodium ceranum. Next, Siphonostele. Xylem is surrounded by phloem. So you can see the vice versa of actin, that is protostele, in the, that is the pith. The pith is seen here, and you can see the xylem, that is, sorry, the pith. Pith is surrounded by phloem. Sorry. Pith is surrounded by xylem, and next it is surrounded by phloem. So the pith in the center and the xylem was surrounded by, that is surrounded by phloem. That is called Siphonostele. Ectoploic Siphonostele. That is pith in the center, same as the Siphonostele only. Xylem surrounded by the phloem. So xylem was surrounded by the phloem, same one, Osmunda. Amphifluid Siphonostele. Folic means phloem. So amphifluid means the xylem, that is the phloem present on both the sides. So you can see the middle the xylem, and here it is phloem, and this side it is also phloem. So the xylem was surrounded by both the sides phloem. That type is called as amphifluid. Amphi means silver 2. So amphifluid Siphonostele. Example, Marsilia. Amphifluid Siphonostele. The stele is perforated. The stele is perforated at a place or placed corresponding to the origin of the leaf trace. So it was, the thing here it is a leaf trace. In this portion it got perforated. So that type is called amphifluid Siphonostele. So amphifluid Siphonostele, the pith is in the center and xylem is surrounded by the phloem. Example, Osmunda. And amphifluid Solenostele, the pith in the center and the phloem is present on both the sides. Example, Adiantum. And Dictyostele, the stele is separated. So this one stele, this one stele. So it is separated, separated, and it is called meristele. So many steles, so many bundle-like structure forms the meristele. That is called the Dictyostele. Example, Adiantum capillus veneris. Adiantum capillus veneris. Eustele, that is the stele is split into the collateral vascular bundle, which possesses the pith, xylem, phloem and cambium. In between xylem and phloem, cambium is present. Example, dicot stem. Tacto Steel. Tacto Steel means the steel, that is the steel is scattered in the collateral vascular bundle. It is the steel scattered in the ground tissue. It is seen in monocot stem. Polycyclic steel. So the vascular tissues are present in the form of 2 or more concentric cylinders. So they are present in the form of concentric, means in a circular way. This is called the concentric cylinders. Example, pteridium. So thank you for watching the video. If you have any doubts, post the doubts in the comment box. Give a thumbs up, share and subscribe to Science Easy Tech channel.